Welcome to ATF TV. I'm Christine Zhou reporting from London. Today we look at Ant Financial and its listing that looked set to raise $40 billion. That would have made it the world's biggest ever IPO. But at the start of November, China's richest man, Jack Ma, and his Ant executives were summoned by regulators. And amid a clampdown on internet lending and fears the Ant listing could upset the financial sector and spur rising debt levels, the Shanghai Stock Exchange announced that the Ant IPO have been suspended. ATF has now exclusively reported that the Ant listing has been halted for good. Umesh Desai, ATF executive editor, has stayed close to the story and joins us now from Hong Kong. Umesh, welcome back to ATF TV.
Hi, Christine. Good to be here.
Thank you, Umesh. There are speculations that Ant Group's IPO might be completely off the table. Could you tell us more about that?
Well, earlier this month, Shanghai Stock Exchange announcement was a bit of a shock, came in last minute. And while it announced that it's going to freeze the IPO for its star market listing, it also prompted Ant to freeze the Hong Kong leg of its dual listing. The controversy comes from the fact that there has been this question whether Ant is a financial company or a tech company. Jack Ma wanted his company to be treated as a technology company, whereas the regulators felt that it was a financial company, given its large loan book size and the risk to the overall financial sector and the banking system. Therefore, I think this whole clash between the interpretation of what the company's identity is not going to be resolved anytime soon. And therefore, I don't see the IPO. While it has been reported, it's off the table completely. I think that even if it were to try and come back, it's not going to be a very quick return to the market, simply because this interpretation is going to take a long time to resolve.
The official explanation about the Ant suspension was to do with new rules regarding micro-lending that were recently passed in Beijing. What's the story there?
So the micro-lending guidelines raises the bar for micro-lenders. That means they need to set aside more capital, and there are restrictions on the amount that they can lend. While it also requires the micro-lenders to disclose all their the borrowers' details to the central bank and share all the credit data with the banks that are doing the actual lending. So this is completely new. It would sort of raise the bar for a lot of the micro lenders which are seeking to come to the market, or which are seeking to be registered and come within the guidelines. It's a sea change, and while Ant Financial, because it's the largest, is in the crosshairs, I think it's going to have an impact on the entire sector.
Can you tell us a bit more about China's micro-lending industry? Why is it important in China and Asia?
Well, micro lenders who source their borrowers' data from their e-commerce platforms are being required to share their credit information with the banks. Now, this is really important because, for example, Ant's loan book is more than $250 billion, and it's about a fifth of China's overall bank deposit base. The draft guidelines, the draft guidelines are still not finalized. They are not made into law yet. They are still open for public feedback until December. They also require that the online lenders will need to provide at least 30% of the loans that they fund jointly with the banks. So far what's been happening is and brings the customers to the banks, and the banks lend directly to these customers, and therefore there isn't much funds put up by Ant. This new guideline and this new requirement would cut into Ant's financial net interest margins, and therefore their profitability quite severely.
Do you think by taking down a huge player like Jack Ma, the Chinese government is trying to send a message to smaller players, not just in China's micro-lending industry, but in the entire financial sector?
Yes, this is really, if you just look at the numbers, the the impact on the overall economy could be massive if there were to be incidents of bad debts. And so it is only to be expected that the regulators are a bit concerned and a bit jittery about having a company of Ant Financial size to grow bigger. And there is, of course, there is also the personal side, the personality side of things, where many financial market observers feel that there is a personality clash as well, because Jack Ma was at a summit last month in China where he severely criticized the banking system in China, and he also criticized the global the financial system, and he used words such as pawn shop to compare China's banking system, and called the Basel system the old man's club. So people felt that these were not appropriate, and these wordings did hurt a few people. And obviously, when Jack Ma was giving this speech, there in the audience were a number of really high flying regulators, and it hasn't gone down well with them.
Thank you, Umesh, for being on our show today. We hope to have you back again.
Thank you very much.
And thank you all for watching. To read more on this article, check out asiatimesfinancial.com for the world's best news on Asian markets, economies, and more. I'm Christine Zhou reporting for ATF TV from London.